as a kid, and those of you who are teaching, do you have kids? 5th year of learning English. Teacher, how do you spell book? Asking you like silly question, teacher, how do you spell book? And what does that same kid ask you the next day? Teacher, how do you spell book? Now, as an adult, would you want to ask the same question 5 times?
No.
You'd feel like an idiot, wouldn't you? And those of you that have, a Taiwanese boyfriend or girlfriend or whatever, and you're going to learn from them. But even that stops at some point because they just get tired of you. God, I told you that 50 times. Why don't you know that already? But little kids don't care. They'll keep asking, they'll keep asking, they'll keep asking. So one of the reasons children appear to learn faster than adults is that there are cultural reasons that are holding you back from learning. When we're talking about cultural learning, we're talking about cultural understanding. When we have an ALG classroom, you walk in, you sit down, and the teachers are up here, and they talk in Thai. And you listen. And they have your name on a list, and every hour that you sit there and listen, they take off 1 hour. And the program takes about somewhere between 800 and 2,000 hours. Sitting there and listening to teachers standing at the board and talking Thai from day 1. There's no English at all. There's no exams. There's no homework. You just sit and listen and listen and listen. What do you think about that?
Do you have no prior learning of Thai language at all?
Nothing.
It's frustrating.
Huh?
It's frustrating.
Okay, why is it frustrating to you?
Listening to well, in a sense, it's if you don't understand it, it's basically noise. And to listen to that for 800 to 2,000 hours, I would not want to do that.
Okay, very good, J.R. Yeah, Aaron.
I'm wondering, 800 to 2,000, can you do a 40-hour week?
Yep.
Oh yeah?
Yep.
Really?
Yep. I have a friend, I'm a fighter, and I got a friend named Christoph Klugston who's also a fighter, but he's a really scary fighter. He's a really big guy with like a shaved head, and for years he's been traveling around Southeast Asia on a bus, fighting, like in this town, in that town, sometimes for $15, sometimes for $20, sometimes $10,000. He just fights. And he's been doing this for years. And one time I published an article on linguistics in a magazine, and he sent me an email, and he was criticizing my article. I'm like, hey man, come on, get back in the gym. Who are you? What do you know about linguistics? He goes, Google my name. So I Google his name, and I find out he's like this linguistic genius. He graduated from the Defense Language Institute. He's studied something like 20 languages. He publishes. He's done all this stuff, and he's fighting. And the other thing I found out was that he was like 10 years older than what I thought he was. But if you meet him, I mean, he's scary. Like in Cambodia, when we're all training, like everybody stays away from him at the gym. He's going to see this video too. Anyway, he's at AUA right now because of all of our conversation. He's at AUA in Thailand right now, and he's doing a 40-hour week. That was his thing. He's like, no, I can handle 40 hours. So he's sitting there for 40 hours. And they say that it takes about 800 hours of listening before you should start talking. Where do you think that number, 800 hours, came from? That children, babies. How old is a baby when they start talking?
2 years old.
2 years old. How many waking hours of input do you think you get in 2 years?
800 hours.
Yeah, seriously, because people go, oh yeah, you're over there in Taiwan, you guys doing your MBA. Folks at home are going, oh, you're over there in Taiwan, you're getting Chinese 24/7. Well, no, I'm sleeping for 8. No, you guys are sleeping for like 12. I know. Partying for 2. No. So, sleeping for 8, taking a shower for 8, taking a shower for whatever 2 hours a day. You're in class, which is in English, for so many hours a day, and you start cutting it down and cutting it down. And how many hours of input are you actually getting in Chinese? And let's say, not the people that are studying Chinese, let's say the people that thought they were just going to learn it by osmosis. I'm living in Taiwan, and I'm just going to be hearing Chinese, I'm going to learn it. How many hours of Chinese do you think you get in a day, Aaron?
Well, break it down like you said. I mean, I don't get 1.
Okay, it's less than 1. And let me ask you a question. The Chinese you got today, when you ordered your food and you drove your scooter, and the Chinese you got today, how different was it than the Chinese you got yesterday?
Or the day I got here.
Right,
Right.
right. And so you'll find that foreigners will come here and it's like basic stuff like how much is that and their numbers and days of the week, and they'll kind of get all that stuff, and they may get it through osmosis, but after like a month or 2 months, that's it, because it's the same interactions all the time. And then the people, the ones that I just want to hit, are the ones that they're so proud of their Chinese ability. Oh, I'm with the people. I talk to the people. I know Chinese. All my friends are Chinese. I have Chinese conversations every day. No. He has one Chinese conversation every day. The same one every day for 10 years. How many brothers and sisters do you have? What country do you come from? Can you eat with chopsticks? and then that is ended by, wow, I'm bang. What a hanha. Han something. He's like, wow, that's what the guy said yesterday. It must be true. They start to believe it. Okay, so just listening, and JR said, he said, when we're listening, it becomes noise, right, if you don't understand. All right, there's a theory called Chinese radio, which is that if you were locked in a jail cell and there was a radio going in Chinese 24 hours a day, and you're in that jail cell for 20 years, when you came out, you wouldn't be able to speak a word of Chinese. You can't learn from just listening to the radio. Why? What do you think?
You can't see the person moving
You can't see. Why would I need to see the person moving, Jason?
because they're body language. Sorry.
Body language. Good. And?
I was just going to say that.
Okay, so we have body language. What else can we have that can help us to understand somebody? Let's say you don't speak the language at all. Like, how about this? You're in Russia, and you're not sure if this is the door that says forbidden or this is the door that says like men's toilet. And so you open, or ladies' toilet. So you open the door and you walk in, and the guy says, like you just sit down and open a magazine.
Facial expression also.
Yeah. Okay. So facial expression. What else? Tone of voice. How about body language? All these things we can use as clues to understand, right? Okay. Now, what happens to children is because no one told them anything different, children are automatically using these things. Even with their body language, think about it, a 3-year-old, a 4-year-old, a 5-year-old, the parents are talking to him in the native tongue, they're talking pretty fast, they're using a lot of words, and they're really not thinking so much about whether or not the kid understands them. The kid is constantly using all of these clues to understand, even in his native tongue. And so now you take that kid and you stick him in Chinese class or in a Chinese school, and he does the same thing. But because we're adults and we're sophisticated and we're smart, we lose all those abilities that children have. And we suddenly start trying to use our brain. And I always write a lot of articles where I compare learning martial arts to learning languages. And one of the things is that if I get in the ring and we're moving and we're hitting, and I'd say, oh, he is throwing a left jab, I should counter with a block. And then he's hit me 57 times before I can do that. Because I can't think. It can't be a logical thing. It has to be an automatic thing. So we have to use all our clues to understand. Now, in an ALG lesson, the teachers are very good at using body language, tone of voice, and pictures to tell stories to help the students understand.